Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Marvel's Unboxing, and we finally have our Collecticore Year of the Shield. We have our first Year of the Shield, and I think this box is genuinely pretty cool. Now, the box art overall is very easy to miss. The thing that stands out the most really is Year of the Shield logo. I think that's very iconic. I'm really glad they decided to do something like this, especially having to do with Amazon. I usually get very lucky and fortunate that my stuff from Amazon comes in very minty, so I never really have a problem with them. I think I've only had an issue once, but you can simply just return it if you have Amazon Prime. But taking a closer look at the actual box, you can see that there's a bunch of art going on in the background, a bunch of Captain Americas, mostly from the comics. Of course, it doesn't seem like there's actual MCU footage on here, but it all looks, of course, looking at this little logo, I'm not sure if every single box is printed the same way, but you can definitely tell some of them stand out, especially something like this. And then we take a quick look at the side of the box again. Not too much crazy box art, it just simply says Marvel Collecticore Year of the Shield, Funko, and again, some more art in the background. Seems like the motorcycle and the logo of Captain America seem very constant throughout the box. Again, art remains the same on the other side. And of course, we get a ginormous logo on the actual front of the box, and usually on the back of the box we have some white label. And of course, mine is a size medium. I should probably switch over to size small, but powered by Funko, nothing too crazy. Let's go ahead and unbox this box. Switching over to aerial view, let's go ahead and actually unbox this box. So here's a much better look at the actual contents. We get a first look at a sticker. Now this sticker is nothing special, it's just a simple cool sticker. Does not glow in the dark, do not do anything, but it looks pretty cool. I think this is the first shield that we actually get to see. I'm not sure this is from the comics or the actual Avengers, but overall it looks very cool. It looks like they definitely went all in and decided to do some details rather than having a bland sticker. You can definitely tell that there's some light goings on out there. So it definitely looks like it's a little bit metallic rather than just a standalone sticker. And we usually always get a pin, and it looks like this for this pin they decided to add this little pin right here. This is of course from the first Avengers. Now I'm not exactly sure where it comes from in the comics, but as far as MCU goes, this is straight from the first Avenger. Again, I'm not really exactly sure what people do with these pins. I just typically always leave them in a box or in a box full of pins. The design overall looks great, but as far as usefulness, I'm not really sure. You could, I guess, attach it to your shirt, to backpacks, whatnot. Imagination is all up to you. Alright, and coming next up, we actually have the shirts. Now, this shirt is supposed to be rumored the 5-pack. There's apparently a 5-pack going to be released, I believe, through Year of the Shield as well. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not really sure exactly either where people got that information from, but it seems like a lot of people are agreeing with that, so I'm just going to go ahead and say that it's probably true. I really do hope we get to see a 5-pack. The only other 5-pack I'm really interested in is the McDonald's one and the Civil War one, although the Civil War is just a bunch of repeat characters. So here we have all 5 Captain Americas, and it says number 80. I'm not exactly sure what the 80 is in relevance to. It's probably some sort of anniversary, which is probably why we have Year of the Shield. But we're going to see a closer look at all the Captain Americas, and of course we have Captain America from the Winter Soldier, and I believe this is Captain America first appearance, and I'm not really exactly sure where. I could not find anything about this Captain America, so if you guys could definitely help me out with that, I would greatly appreciate it. As far as these two go, I thought they were the coolest ones. I did a lot of research on these two Captain Americas, and this is just basically a modification of Captain America with a different shield. Nothing too crazy, but as far as this one goes, apparently he got paralyzed and he had to use some sort of robotic exoskeleton, so I thought that was really cool. I really want to see some sort of action figure Funko Pop with that, but we've already seen the other ones. Again, not really sure. He looks like some sort of US agent hybrid, so that might be the case. But I thought these cool were the best ones overall based on looks and their actual history and background. Mostly just this one because it has a triangular shield. And last but not least, here's a closer look at the Funko Pops. Now, there was a little bit of disappointment based on what I saw throughout the reviews and the comments that this was a pretty lame box, and that's what my first initial thought of it was. I was glad that we did get to see some new Captain Americas after all, but I was like, man, there's no MCU, mostly because the whole Year of the Shield has been MCU lately. But when you actually do some research, these are some pretty cool Funko Pops. Again, they don't have much relationships with the actual MCU. Maybe this one does a little bit more than the other ones, but nonetheless, they're very cool. We get Nomad Steve Rogers and World War II Ultimates Captain America. Going back down below again, we get to see a better view of them. Of course, they have the original exclusive Marvel Collector Course sticker and then the usual comic box that we usually always get with any sort of comic variant. Here's a better view of the side, and it kind of reminds me of a circus, to be honest, with the lines I decided to do. But of course, that's Steve Rogers' little symbol, I guess you could call it, especially with his shield. You can see right there, there's little lines going under there to symbolize, of course, his shield. Now in the back of the box, we don't get to see anything too crazy. We just get to see Year of the Shield, and I believe the Winter Soldier also carries that same thing. And just because I mentioned him, ta-da! But we just get Year of the Shield, the same logo, and of course the Funko Pops. Here's a look at the other side of the box, and here's a top view of the both boxes. But now let's go ahead and actually unbox these Pops. Alrighty, coming first up, we have Nomad Steve Rogers, and I gotta be really honest that if you do not know where this character comes from, you're probably gonna think he's some sort of circus performer. That's what my initial thought was, and it's pretty believable nonetheless. But when you actually look up Nomad Steve Rogers, you get to see his actual suit, and it turns out that Nomad Steve Rogers is actually some sort of defender, and he lost confidence, or at least trust, in the US government, but still wanted to be the good guy, and so just went with this weird outfit. He was only in a couple issues when it got disregarded, or at least removed, so we don't really get to see him much in the comics. I don't know anything about him in the comics, just a little bit of back history, but nonetheless, it looks a little bit like Robin in a way, but just black and yellow. Kind of look like a yellow jacket. But as far as everything goes, comparing it to the picture right here, I think the details are pretty good. Again, very simplistic. Most comic suits are pretty simplistic whenever you transform into Funko Pop. But I think the one thing that they did really good on was the actual muscles they decided to do. Comic book superheroes definitely have these very almost, I guess, unrealistic muscle physiques, and you know, it's just kind of cool. Some gloves. Again, there's this weird little crevice going down the middle of his chest, and his cape. Looks like the inside of his cape is gonna be yellow. Looks like you can flex it out here, just like that. Now, if you do a quick Google search and you look up Nomad Steve Rogers, you're actually gonna end up seeing Captain America from Infinity War. I'm not exactly sure why that's the case. It would make sense, in all honesty, as to why there's Nomad Steve Rogers in correlation with Infinity War. After the events of the Civil War, I assume he lost trust in the actual government in the US as well, and decided to kind of go his own way for the rest of the movie, or at least until the events of Infinity War and the whole Thanos snap happened, and he ended up using back to his original suit. But that would be a nice correlation. I don't know if we're ever going to be getting an actual suit like this. I think it'd look a little bit clunky, to be honest, and I think they would really use a sort of a modification inspiration from the suit to make a Nomad one. But now that we have Sam Wilson, I really do not see it happening any time in the future. Alrighty, last but not least, we have World War II Ultimates Captain America. Now, I did again some research on this Funko Pop, and it turns out that he's an ultimate version of the actual Captain America, so he's much more stronger and just in a way better overall. The only thing that's wrong with him is that he still carries on his human flaws. He's not the perfect version of Steve Rogers, and although he might be strong and more agile in a lot of ways, his flaws definitely bring him down. Here's a much closer look at the actual pop, and I gotta be honest that this pop really does remind me a lot of the Captain America that they did for the first Avenger in his World War II outfit. I currently do have that Funko Pop, which I will not be bringing out just because I do not want to show it on the YouTube channel yet, but they definitely did a good remake on this. Overall, looking at it, of course, he is missing the brown jacket, and we take a closer look at the actual face. It's kind of weird to decide to implement a nose on here over his mask. It kind of looks like he's wearing some sort of scarecrow or something, sort of Halloween outfits. They even decided to add some little bit of hair, and looks like they decided to make the neck red. It's kind of weird, but they had some hair, some back, and they even decided to add these little straps right here, which the other Captain America also carries as well. The thing that's really funny about this pop is that they actually decided to do the goggles over, whereas the other one actually carries them over his helmets. Now he does still carry the A on him, so pretty much everything is about the same. The only thing that's different is that the goggles actually go over his head. But as far as that goes, everything really is about the same. I guess in correlation, of course, we don't ever get to see this with the same Funko Pop. I'm not even sure if this is straight up from the MCU in a way, or they duplicate it from the comics into the MCU, which should actually be the better term. But nonetheless, they did a pretty good job at this. I'm really digging that shield. I love it, and I did a very good job with the other one. Now, of course, the other one only carries, I think, about 3 stars, and this one carries multiple, which it might be symbolic to their actual Funko Pops. I gotta be honest that if you're not an MCU fan, you're probably not gonna enjoy this box as much as if you are a comic fan. Of course, you know the actual history and background. Have you seen these characters ever since you've been growing up? So if you're an MCU fan, just be aware that you're probably not gonna enjoy this box. I personally do, because I always like Captain America no matter what. Although the Nomad is a little bit silly, and I can kind of see why he was only in a couple issues. I definitely am digging the World War II Ultimate Captain America. That's just the best one overall. Pretty good job with the box. A lot better than Lucha Libre. I will go ahead and say that. I already returned that. I think I sold it. But as far as this one goes, this one is really, really good. Whether you do or you do not, let me know why that is the case. I would really like to get to know as to why some people do and do not like the Marvel Collector core boxes. I think they definitely decided to make this one a little bit better. The one prior to this one, the Lucha Libre, was a complete flop, and that's already been taken care of. It's pretty much in the garbage. Well, it actually got sold. It's not in the actual garbage, but that was a horrible box. But that's all I got for you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Make sure to go check out those 2 videos since you're still watching me play with toys. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel right here. Boom.